first of 2 trips Dallas will make to Gila River Arena this year. We bring you inside and check out the matchup of starting netminders.
Braden Holtby made a 7-minute cameo in last night's tilt at home, but this is his first start in 17 days as he attended to a nagging lower body issue. Scott Wedgwood was claimed off waivers from New Jersey 3 weeks ago when the Yotes had lost 11 in a row. He won his first one out of the gate. He's 2-2-1 since.
Jamie Benn begins this game at center ice opposite Barrett Hayton. And Benn wins the opening draw. Puck is dropped. We're underway from Glendale, Arizona. Stumped in Stars in the road Whites. They have won 5 of their last 6. They've won 3 in a row. The damage done on home ice. They're trying to take it. It's part of the road show. Andrew Ladd bumps it out to center. And it's Hayton who could not chip it past Lindell. Cut off at the blue line. And it comes right back in where the Stars defenseman will move it along to Heiskanen. Miro Heiskanen calms things down while both teams in the midst of a line change. Now Heiskanen carries up. Pass intended for Hintz was snuffed out by Keller. And Hintz goes right back to Lindell. He'll rim it in from center. Jason Robertson to Hintz, a shot stop Wedgwood, rebound stop, and a second effort scored. It's Roope Hintz, and that top Dallas line strikes early again. This time 54 seconds in.
Well, he was able to follow up his initial drift at the net, and Roope's off the schneid on the road. Came in with a goose egg in the goal-scoring department. Just some hungry work with a lot of Coyotes staring. Some quick feet from Joe Pavelski to kind of nudge it. I don't know, he was trying to control it, whips it on. After that, and the rebound is pounded home by Hintz. Man, do they get the Stars leads in a hurry. 2 goals in the first 2 minutes last night. Pavelski, a minute in, they're ahead again here tonight.
It's the 7th goal of the season for Roope Hintz, all in the last 8 games. It's just poked up and out of play, and right on cue, what we were talking about before the game, a picture-perfect start.
It was. I mean, they came out and attacked, and that's when Hintz is at his best, Pavelski's at his best. Robertson's become kind of the forgotten guy of that trio, and he does such great work with the puck himself. So they get back to the bench. Congratulations all around. And this is a Stars club that all of a sudden is scoring early in games, playing with a lead in games, and they're almost unbeatable when they do so.
Their last 5 wins in that stretch we were talking about, not only did they score the first goal each time, they also then padded it, scored the second, several times the third as well. And they'll look to do that, playing with a 1-0 lead. Turnaround bid, Antoine Roussel, the former Star, denied by Holtby, kept in the zone by Arizona. Up high at the line, it's sent down low. Anton Stroman now got it over to Capobianco. He'll feed it through the slot. Stroman partially fanned, and Dallas's Radulov can clear. The game not even 2 minutes old. Roope Hintz from Joe Pavelski, 54 seconds into the game.
Trying to give him more credit than that.
I'm just foreshadowing ahead to the next game, most likely. Here's Sagan bumping it back, defensive corner, Yanni Hakanpää. Luke Glendening will grab it there. 5 goals for him on the season. He'll move it to Andre Sekera. Back in the lineup. He was scratched last night. Replaces Joel Hanley. It's the lone lineup change for Rick Bowness. A chip out to center. Pawed by Hakanpää. You can't do that. So it's a hand pass. Peterson is bumped down. Draws a little bit of a conversation and a whistle as we check in with Michelle McMahon.
Yeah, Josh, it was a full team celebration last night as Joe Pavelski strikes again here tonight with an assist. But last night, of course, he knocked that 400th goal. And you know a guy is well received in the locker room when the team response looks like this. No champagne, but water did suffice. Joe's smile pretty much says it all. He said it was a fun night. Who says 37 is old, guys?
It's a nice cameo by his son, Nate, who was there as part of the post-game interview with you, Michelle. And yeah, what a moment. 3 years here in Dallas for Joe Pavelski, and he's become such a huge part of this team. It's Ladd who settles it down. No funnel low. Lawson Krause. Now to Mayo and a shot. Punched aside by Holtby. Gostisbehere trying to keep in the zone and able to sweep from near the line, but not inside of it. As Hayton offside.
Well, attitude was what Rick Bowness talked about this morning. Prepare and play the right way. Respect this and really every opponent. But when you're playing against teams that look at the standings the other way around, they're looking at the bottom and who they can leapfrog from 31st to 30th and 29th. He cited those 2 losses against the Ottawa Senators as examples of how you can fritter away some points, important points. The Sens are 4-13-1 now, and they beat the Stars twice.
Arizona on the attack. Clayton Keller. He'll drop it off. No one home for the Coyotes. Robertson out for Klingberg. 4 helpers in the last 2 games. His pass couldn't connect with Robertson across the line. And now it's Suter to Robertson. He'll drop off for Hintz. Off of Jacob Chychrun, who tracks it to the corner. Chychrun led all defensemen in goal scoring last year with 18. He was on the ice for that first goal against. He's now a -24 to start this year. The Coyotes just give up an awful lot of goals. Don't score very many.
It's tough too, and when you're the lead dog on the blue line of a team that's struggling, you're going to give up a lot. You're going to end up with a lot of minuses. You play against the top guys.
Strowman with a shot, deflects away. Roussel batted it out of high in the air and into the net. They're celebrating. It's called a goal on the ice. The Stars are going to dispute the height when Antoine Roussel made contact.
He sure looked like he hacked it down and in. He was in the crease in behind Holtby after the initial shot from the right wing side goes off the Knot of Humanity. That's not going to count. I think that's above the crossbar, which is the height that it has to be below that he contacts. That was a good look there. Perfect view for the referee, huh? And maybe it looked more illegal as he was swinging down toward it, but where did it contact?
To determine if the puck was high-stepped prior to hitting the net.
It's being reviewed. This is not a coach's challenge. This is one where the officials just have to take a look themselves and determine if it was above or below that crossbar.
It's dicey. It's dicier than I thought it was with the naked eye. Antoine has 35 penalty minutes and 1 goal with no assists so far this year. He was emphatic with his celebration, and now the question is, did he have enough patience to wait for gravity to be his ally in that or not? They've either knotted the game at 1 or it remains 1-0 Stars here.
You're right. The fact that he kind of tomahawked it down and his stick ended on the ice, it gave off the impression that it was down. It was called a goal, quickly reviewed, and there's a huge decision upcoming.
If it's illegal by like an eyelash above the crossbar. I mean, it's basically right along the bar. I think he's above it, but it's tough to tell from this vantage point.
Roussel was one of the many newcomers to Arizona in the offseason trade from Vancouver, and we're going to find out if he's got his second of the year or not.
After video review, it has been determined that the puck was contacted at the crossbar. Therefore, this is a good goal.
There you go. That's how close it was. I mean, I think he contacted it, like he said, right at the crossbar. If it's a skosh above, it doesn't count. So a big answer goal for the former Star and the Coyotes here 4 minutes into the game.
Antoine Roussel, the longtime fan favorite in Dallas. He departed, signing the multi-year deal with Vancouver in the summer of 2018. As it's iced here, it's amazing. This is just the second game he's playing against the Stars because of injuries and then COVID and the circuitous route back into this division.
Well, the two former stars hooked up on that one. Louis Eriksson gets the assist on it. That's his second point of the season. So a little fired up to play the old squad, perhaps.
So 1-1 after the Stars strike in the opening minute, and then Roussel gets the tally. Quick shot goes right into Wedgwood. He gobbles it up, and back to a standstill on the board.
Jani Hakanpää was physical again last night. He finished third in the NHL in hits last season, and he's getting his licks in. I think he's played really well lately. The Stars decor in general during that homestand just dominated play for this club. It was a bit spotty in the early going as they worked Hakanpää and others in.
Sekera rims it in deep, and it's Tyler Seguin with it. Tries to pull through traffic. Now Glendening, edge of the trapezoid. Hayden stepped in to cut off Seguin. It's sent around, right point Sekera. And then Yoel Kiviranta. His pass broken up by Kraus. And now it is chipped in by Hayden. Stars jump on it, Hakanpää. He's pressured by Roussel. Mentioned the game he played back in December of 2018 as a member of the Canucks against the Stars. He had an assist, so limited games against Dallas, but he's found the scoreboard each time. Stretched ahead. Here's Robertson. He'll take it in the corner. Has help in front of the net. Robertson to the right side. Wedgwood the save on Pavelski. The puck popped free, but the whistle came.
Had some crazy moments around both nets already in this one, in a gathering after a sweet feed in front to Pavelski. Robertson has that wonderful ability to just delay for an extra second, find a blade of a teammate. Wedgwood attacked Pavelski's offering, but never had it gathered in. Blocked out a little bit. Of Pavelski's 400 goals, he scored the most against these Coyotes. He has 31 against Arizona in his career.
He gets kicked out of this face-off. Hintz. And now Robertson follows it up to the corner. His pass goes off of Keller. And Heiskanen over to Pavelski. A shot off the post, and then it hit the back of Wedgwood and stayed out of the net. What a close call for Dallas right there, looking to reclaim the lead. Lyubushkin. He finds Keller. Holds up top of the dot. Feeds Kessel with a shot. Saved by Holtby.
Got better awareness on a late guy coming than that for the Stars in their zone.
Chipped out to center ice. Turning to grab it back in the Yotes zone is Lyubushkin. Both teams in the midst of a change. He presses pause before handing off left side for Chychrun. Stretch for Roussel. He did not stay onside. Everything he's doing is a close call, and this one whistled down.
Ingberg gave him a pretty good shot after that. Speaking of pretty good shots, the rip wrister off that face-off win for Pavelski. Waits for the setup in front, looking for a stick in front of the net more than anything, and Wedgwood, I think, was visually inconvenienced with that shot from the top of the circle. That line has looked terrific on home ice a lot, not so much on the road, but they've been the Stars' best line here in the opening 6 minutes tonight.
Mayo off the draw, and around off of Louis Eriksson, then taken away Denis Gurianov. Little game of catch with Klingberg through center ice, chipped in by the Dallas defenseman. Shane Gostisbehere grabs it. He's off to a great start, 15 points this season. He is top 10 in D-man scoring, tied with Miro Heiskanen, and leads all Coyotes in points. Gostisbehere, and now through center ice, Ryan Dzingel crossing the line, weaving down the right side. Hits to the forehand. Got it up high. Mayo with a shot. Hit traffic in front of Holtby. And then Ben is trying to spring Raffle. A race for the puck, and Mayo, just in desperation mode, bumped it to the defensive corner. Raffle working against two Coyotes. It's loose in the high slot. Sekera rims it back around. Raffle and Mayo still were entangled. Hakanpää on the right side. Radulov joins him. Flings it over to Sekera. Shot saved by Wedgwood. Now Now Hakanpää, the defenseman, was the man to grab it. Extend the time here for Dallas, but a centering pass got right through Faksa, and Hudson Fasching will deliver it back to the Star zone. Quickly angled out to Faksa. He'll chip in. Glendening chasing. Capobianco just had enough of a head start to hit the dots first for icing. Fans, you can lace up your skates and hit the ice for a public skating session. Grab your friends and family and head to your local Children's Health Star Center, where sessions are open to skaters of all levels and all ages. You can view the full schedule right now at DallasStars.com/public skating.
Glendening was complaining to the linesman. He thought he'd won that race. I thought he did too.
Got a lot of photo finishes here. The first 7 minutes and change from Arizona. Teams trading early goals in a 1-1 score. Hakanpää ahead for Faksa. Cut down as he crossed the center line. And now Stralman. Barrett Hayden across the blue line. It's offside. Whistled down. And we will step aside. Stars on the board first. Rope hints. 7th of the year, less than a minute in. Answered by the former Star Antoine Roussel. His 2nd of the year. Has us tied up at 1.
To begin the game, and then Shane Gostisbehere a couple of points up on Keller on their side.
Glendening banks it in deep. Lyubushkin there. Pulls away from forechecking pressure. Intended for Kessel. Knocked away by the stick of Seguin. Kessel follows up and then swept off a second time and raced 4 back inside Coyote territory. Seguin and Kessel shoulder to shoulder along the corner boards. Bumped out. Lyubushkin put in the skates of Travis Boyd. The former Washington Capital has goals in back-to-back games. Now Chychrun. Cut down by Heiskanen, and nice work by Keller to pickpocket Heiskanen and win it back for Arizona. Clayton Keller behind the net. Pursued by Robertson. Skates it up near the top of the zone. A handoff Lyubushkin. And right back up high. Mayo. Keller. And Mayo for Boyd. He's hit by Lindell, who then kicks it free, but Keller first to the puck. Zone time here for the Coyotes. They haven't been able to get anything to the dangerous part in front of the crease, but it's Keller feeding across. Gostisbehere, shot and a glove save by Braden Holtby.
A lot of movement and orchestrated turnovers by the Coyotes during this set, and I think Shane Gostisbehere had come off the bench on a change, and with their puck possession they were able to just hang on, change the point of attack, the width of the rink. Gostisbehere comes down the slot wide open, and a snazzy glove grab by Braden Holtby to make sure this remains 1-1. Nice setup.
Gostisbehere had 17 goals as a rookie back in the 15-16 season. 65 points from the blue line. A couple years later, as another rim off the backboards set up a chance in front.
Good thing Louis Eriksson fanned on that quick rebound off the end boards after a face-off win for the Coyotes, and they struggle in that category.
Now it's inside the Yotes end. Fought for along the end boards. Dzingel and Gostisbehere comes up the wall, and Eriksson will bump it back. Slow things down behind the Arizona net. Both teams changing. Clock continues to move. We played just about 9.5 minutes here in a 1-1 hockey game. Outlet feed Mayo ahead. Fasching across the line. Right side for O'Brien, and then Hakanpää helped it around for Radulov, looking for a counter. Springs Peterson. Jacob Peterson cuts in. He gets knocked down and heavy into the end wall. That was a vulnerable spot. Stralman immediately checks on him. It wasn't a dirty play. Both guys just going for the puck, and a lot of momentum took Jacob Peterson hard into the end boards.
Well, there's another look at it. And the end of the rink moves a little, but not much. He never cut his skates out from underneath of him. It's that long one-handed reach that a lot of defensemen use defensively now. And he ate the top of the boards more than anything else. I mean, you're going 25 miles an hour, and then you're going 0. Dave Zeiss out to attend to Peterson. And he's played well. I mean, one of the things that has stuck out in his play for the Stars is that he stays on the puck. He pressures the puck a lot, and in doing so there, and trying to chase it down a little bit, he ran himself out of real estate. Hopefully he's okay, and obviously damaged the mouth more than anything else. Off for repairs he goes midway through the opening period here, so that fouls up Bonus's line with Faksa and Radulov. There'll be double shifts for left wingers here.
Play restarts, and it's Ladd across the blue line. Left circle. Chance stopped by Holtby. Hayden up to the line, and bid gets blocked. And Chychrun tripped up, and the Stars able to clear. And it's on net. Wedgwood has to keep it moving. Chychrun slowly to center. They'll rim it in a piece, but not all of it by Holtby. Heiskanen around for Seguin. Now Heiskanen. Nice move past Kessel, then a second move around Kraus. Seguin. Heiskanen follows the bouncing puck in the slot, and he's tripped up. Also going down was Keller, and it's back out between the blue line.
Pretty good work by the other defenseman, Chychrun, on the Coyotes side of things to mess up Heiskanen in the middle after that sweet work up the ice to generate what looked like was going to be a chance in the high slot.
There's Dyson Mayo across the line, feeds it for Keller. Pass intended for a cutter on the left side. Good stick, Glendening, and now he's got a step. Luke Glendening for the Stars, a backhand turned aside by Wedgwood. Ben for Klingberg, back for Ben. Ryan Suter fed the slot. Raffle to Klingberg, shot hit traffic, fell at Raffle's feet, swept near the line, a reach, and Klingberg holds it. Then he steps past Kessel. He'll feed it up high, Gurianov, right wing side, fake shot Suter. Back across to Gurianov. Goals in 2 straight for Gurianov. This one redirected by Ben, who then goes hunting after Mayo in the corner, and it's clear. Suter the chip and chase. Defenseman lumbers after it, gets there, locks up arm in arm with Mayo as it's stepped on in the trapezoid. Suter comes away with possession, rims it up high for Klingberg. Redirection, and it goes just wide of the far post.
Stars need to do a little more of that. They passed up some opportunities to shoot the puck.
Roussel in the attack zone for Arizona. Centering pass to Zingle was cut off, played nicely by Faksa. He then goes down. Roussel's pass misses Capo Bianco, and Arizona has to touch up.
Radek Faksa played more D than forward on this shift because Suter's been so aggressive and deep in the zone offensively.
Hakanpää gets shoved by O'Brien. O'Brien for Arizona has 3 Stars nearby as then he logs it up against the sidewall. A bank pass moves it to Strawman, who fakes a shot. Strawman then lets it rip well wide, followed by Dzingel to the left side. Capo Bianco. Louis Eriksson will give and go underneath the end line. More zone time here for Arizona. Under 7 minutes to play, opening period. A 1-1 hockey game between the Stars and Coyotes. Hakanpää with help from Faksa. Sends it the length. Labushkin pursued by Robertson. Cross for Strawman. Lifted to neutral ice. Bouncing puck swiped by Lindell. Jason Robertson across the line. He gets hit from his knees. Kept possession momentarily. Now it's Lawson Kraus. And he will chip and chase. Lindell for Pavelski. Misses Robertson. Slow moving puck. Faster moving Hintz. He'll get to it. Hintz across for Lindell. Lindell at the point. Now Pavelski, his bid, and the reach cut it off a fashion.
They keep wanting to work the puck into the high slot area in the Coyotes zone, and it's messed them up a few times offensively. You know, their goal that they scored almost immediately here tonight with multiple rebounds. Get it on net, follow it up.
Goals 1-1, shot 7-7, under 6 to play in the first. What's the overall impression of these 20 minutes from a Star standpoint?
All right. I mean, there have been some extended shifts, and you don't want that. You know, the hero aspect of things.
Here's Keller to Chikrin. He was caught from behind as he tried to let it go from the high slot. Mayo back for Keller. From center ice, fed it across. In his Gostisbehere. Shot gets blocked. He follows up. Sekera, good job to get in the way. Dallas didn't immediately clear. Kept by Kessel. Phil Kessel spreads it out for Arizona. Capobianco. Back for Kessel. Through him. Chance for Dzingel. Settles it down. A handoff Gostisbehere. Dzingel once again. Top of the zone. Capobianco near side. Slow pass for Dzingel. And taken care of by Lindell.
It's a battle of cycles this first period. And both sides are struggling a little bit to get it to a spot where they can wire it on net. Been some puck tussles. Firm battle by Kessel to win that against Glendening, who on his previous shift had a breakaway. They played some pretty wide open hockey here.
Louis Eriksson scoops at center, carries across the Stars line. Dzingel right circle in front, and a save by Holtby. Cutting was Eriksson trying to get a tip on it. Good position by Suter in front of Eriksson.
That's sort of the format I'm sure both coaches would like to see more of. Guys driving the net, pucks being funneled there rather than pass around the outskirts and the perimeter.
Long series of play without a whistle as the clock continues to move. Wedgwood for Stroman. Uses the glass, bounces it back to the Stars' end. Hakanpää to Suter. Rink wide, Robertson. He's in across the blue. Hits the brakes halfway down the wall. Fed back for Suter. Wrist shot save. Rebound big to the slot. Got away from Hakanpää, kept in by Dallas. And a 50-foot wrist shot was blocked by Lyubushkin right in front of his netminder. O'Brien nearly turned it over, stayed with it. Over for Fasching. He lost it at the Stars' blue line. Reverse check. Robertson knocked down Lyubushkin.
Usually it's the other way around with the Coyote defenseman. He likes to play the physical game. Got knocked on his fanny there.
Bouncing puck in the Dallas slot. He's taken and caromed out.
We're going to be back in Dallas by 9:30 here, Josh.
Maybe not with the time difference, but pretty close. Rolls in on Holtby. He will delay the trip back just a bit with the whistle. Beautiful night in the desert in Arizona. It's tied at 1.
Go to commercial break, forget about it. Got a plane to catch.
Keeping all of us on our toes. As Lindell will send it around the boards and back to the blue line. Hayden, center ice, lost it. And Gostisbehere went down. And Glendening chases after Mayo, comes right back to Glendening. Backhand feed, Heiskanen shot, hit traffic in the slot, and then knocked away by Ladd.
It's the other part of things, right? You get a little more liberal with your shooting from the points, and there's so many bodies between the puck and the opposing netminder. It's been difficult to get the puck through. Bunch of block shots.
Jamie Benn the chip, short hops on Wedgwood. Wedgwood will hang on to it. A discussion, and we will step aside. 1-1, still late in Arizona.
What the Stars have used on the run lately, and some checking by Glendening, ends up on a breakaway. He had to fight off Clayton Keller in order to get a backhand on net. He's been just sensational for the Stars in a lot of different areas. The bonus stuff feels like the goal scoring, obviously. He's just 2 goals off the team lead. And came close to inching closer to Rope Hintz on that trot up the ice. Wins faceoffs, blocks shots, kills penalties. Dogged defensive work.
Ben wins the faceoff to Klingberg. Bid by Gurianov. Jumping was Wedgwood.
I think he got a late start on that one, too. Remember earlier with Pavelski's shot from that similar spot.
It's back in the Star zone. Hayden hustles after it. 5th overall pick a few years ago. Now taken by Klingberg. Along the wall, fed up for Ben, back for Klingberg. Klingberg across the blue line. Klingberg to Ruffle, shot, save Wedgwood. This time he gets the glove down on it to get the whistle. Fans, you can entertain employees, clients, friends, and family at American Airlines Center this season. Reserve a luxury suite, and at a future Stars game, you can get private entrances, premium memories, and the perfect atmosphere for entertaining. Reserve your suite now at DallasStars.com/suites. Blocker side of Wedgwood. Fox on the draw against the Zingle. One cleanly by the Stars. Heiskanen, wrister. Blocked to the corner. Jacob Peterson, who's back out there. Terrific sight after he left. Midway through the first period, wound up missing about 8 minutes of time. Now Heiskanen. Fox up. Rimmed around where Lindell will sweep on the backhand for Foxa. Has options in front, put it off the low outside part of the cage. Radulov for Foxa, he fans, follows up anyway, and Peterson scores! Back indeed. Jacob Peterson returns and has the Stars back in front.
Well, he returns cosmetically different than he began the hockey game. This is forechecking 101. That is Alexander Radulov at his best to begin it. Wins the puck along the boards, throws a backhand out in front. The initial bid by Foxa was fanned on, but just as the Hintz goal, a minute into the game, the Coyotes are just kind of a mess, eliminating people in front of the net, and the beneficiary of all that is Jacob Peterson.
His 3rd goal of the season, his 2nd in 7 games since his recall from the American Hockey League. And this is a big one late in the first period. The Stars, who scored early in the opening minute, tally once again here in the closing 2 minutes of the first, icing against Arizona.
Got back just in time to jump to the front of the net and nudge one in. Smart player. All 3 guys on that line had a hand in the Stars' 2nd goal of the opening period. So, and that's the wonderful thing about the Stars, is they've kind of moved a lot. They look like a deep 4-line club, like pick your poison a little bit. And with last change going to the home team when the Stars are on the road, you just kind of have to roll with it. Hope you get production from everybody, and they're doing so here tonight.
The line that opened the scoring is out there for Dallas right now, but it's dropped into the Stars zone. And Klingberg will hold up behind the net. A stare down game with Krause. Out for Suter. Then ahead, Robertson. Crossing the Arizona line, weaves to the slot. Puck rolled away from him. Glendening tied up as he was trying to get there. Stroman. A backhand for Ladd. No hand for Boyd, and almost ran right into his own man in Capobianco. Late stages of the first period. Final 20 seconds. Arizona with possession, the entire rink in front of them. Pressure by the Stars, taken away Kiviranta. Kiviranta, sharp angle wrister, save Wedgwood. Rebound loose, and then gloved high, a net mouth scramble, and the Stars could never find it. There's tense moments there for Arizona with only a few seconds left.
Right. You know, there are times in every period where you don't want to turn pucks over, and the Coyotes were heading out of the zone, spit it up. Kiviranta and company, who've gone hard to the net here in the opening period, came close to making this a 3-1 game, as Wedgwood had to put up a wall.
Stars have time, not a ton of it. 7.9 seconds left. Jamie Benn giving instructions to Lindell just inside the blue line. He and Heiskanen are the point men. Face off at the left wing circle. And the Stars pulled it back but could never control it. Gostisbehere with a chip clearance And that will be how the first period comes to a close. So the Stars bookend it with early and late tallies.
Well, it's another opening period where the Stars scored twice. I mean, and they have these wonderful statistics when they score first and lead after the first period, and that's where they're at after 20 minutes in Glendale.
8-2-1 this season when they popped the first goal. That was the case here tonight, and they exit back to the locker room with the lead. Rope hints early. A familiar face in Antoine Roussel leveled it, and then Jacob Peterson right now the difference maker. 2-1 Stars through a frame. Intermission report is next. Goals in the first period have Dallas on top of the Coyotes 2-1 as we get set to begin the second. Right now we check in once again with Michelle McMahon.
Yeah, Josh, thanks. After being goalless with the first 11 games of the season, Rope Hintz has been on an absolute tear with 7 goals in his last 8 games. And today, he's our Chevy under the hood, so we get to know him a little bit better. Has one dog named Lulu, a very tiny dog. You wouldn't expect it. His favorite pizza is ham and pineapple, which in my opinion is a cardinal sin. And his favorite TV show growing up was Prison Break, guys.
All right, the pineapple debate rages on.
You'd be a terrible Canadian, Michelle.
For what it's worth, I think we got 2 votes for pineapple up top. Michelle's got to recruit some more people down there.
There's a delicacy on a pie.
Folks in the production truck are
Gotta
chiming
get to
in.
Chicago and try that deep dish, Razor.
All right, we'll get there soon enough. Do the tour. The Stars have a 2-1 lead. Razor, after that late goal, what does Dallas hope to do here in this middle frame?
Take over the game a little more. I mean, they allowed the Coyotes at time to have long stretches with possession in their zone. Not a ton of shots on goal, but too much time on their side of the equator.
Raffle will bump it behind the Arizona net. It's the Ben line out there to begin the second period, and they were the ones that started the game back in the first.
They start most of the games for bonus right now. Set a tempo early.
Ben circles behind his defensive net, played it up in front of the benches, cut off right between them by Chychrun. Arizona's Dzingel crossing the blue line. He will rim it around. Raffle has time and space, and he can clear to center. Chychrun couldn't get it around pressure. And Ben into the Coyote zone. Now they're changing, and Chychrun can tilt the ice. Keller. Around it goes to the far wing. Esa Lindell. Sandwiched by a couple Coyotes. He had support in the form of Robertson. Hintz tied up Chychrun, allowed it to move out to center, and then a hot pass forces Lyubushkin all the way back. He finds Kessel. Bill Kessel turns, return to Lyubushkin, off of Keller, and at center ice the Stars have it. Chip clipped the linesman right along the blue line and then poked ahead to Hintz, who was in offside.
Well, with the lubricious nature of tonight's game, if it follows that first period, changes are going to be of paramount importance, I would think, here in the second period with the benches on the other side of center ice. Both teams can move the puck well. We saw that in the opening period.
Stars win the draw. Here's Klingberg tossing one in. Ladd goes down. The Stars will not be able to connect for Radulov. Near side Klingberg. Reached by Foxa, poked it to Radulov. And just out of the reach of Peterson. It was that trio that combined for the most recent goal in the game in the final minute and a half of the opening period. Barrett Hayden couldn't jump around Suter, who led all Stars in ice time just under 9 minutes in that opening period. Now it's the Coyotes. Up high, Lawson Krause, a shot. Save made by Holtby. He stopped 8 of the 9 his way in the first period. That is the first tester he had here in the second. Klingberg, a step across the red line, will play it in. Grabbed by Hudson Fasching, ahead for Alex Galchenyuk. Second tour of duty here in Arizona. Joined him on a PTO, earned himself a 1-year deal. Now Sekera, all the way down it goes. No icing as Chychrun braces for impact from Kiviranta. Kiviranta comes away with it to Seguin. Galchenyuk steps in. Chychrun follows up. They'll carry across center ice, feed it far side for Eriksson. Eriksson came over in that same trade with Antoine Roussel from Vancouver. It was an offseason plan where the Coyotes basically just weaponized all of their available cap space, took on a bunch of contracts that other teams are struggling with in a flat cap. And they've really set themselves up for an offseason where they can be shoppers, have 8 draft picks in the opening 2 rounds, and a lot of money and a lot of names coming off the books. Only 4 players are under contract with Arizona beyond the end of this year. It's an astounding number to look at that spreadsheet.
And they're going to figure out who's going to play for them, and in the short term and long term, they're going to figure out where they're going to play.
It is basically just, you could take the logo and replace it with a question mark right now in just about every facet. Here in front, a chance. Raffle off the glass, and it bounced back, and it's cleared out to center.
I have to think that puck was rolling a little bit, and Raffle couldn't control it. What a juicy opportunity that was.
Heiskanen with a shot. Awkward hop off a partition. Now Keller the other way. Crossing the blue line. Keller will bank it over to Dzingel. Now up top, Keller. He is certainly one that figures into their long-term plans. An extremely talented forward. Over to Kessel. Across the ice and partially fanned shot, score! Travis Boyd was cutting through, believe his redirection just eluded Holtby. And ties this game at 2.
Well, this went in like it was Super Mo in real time. Suter was jostling with his man in front of the net, never did eliminate the stick, and on that little drive-by, what a sweet backhand saucer by Kessel to set up the initial shot toward the net. It was an off-speeder, a bouncer, and rattled off Boyd and Suter in front of the net and eluded Holtby to make this a 2-2 game. Semi-unearned.
So Boyd picks up his 5th goal of the season in just his 14th game of the season. He's got a 3-game goal-scoring streak. And this one comes at the expense of a man he used to share a locker room with in the nation's capital. They were teammates, he and Holtby, with the Caps. Liam O'Brien through center. Pass for Galchenyuk. He gets hit by Hakanpää. Trying to stay with it, he does. Flip to O'Brien. Game of cat and mouse so far through the first half of this hockey game. Twice the Stars have taken a 1-goal lead. Twice now the Coyotes have come back to answer. Lindell. Plenty of time from his own end. An outlet feed off of Seguin. In deep. Counterpunch. Here comes Keller. Speed as he crossed the blue line. The Stars got back to take it away. Now they'll turn the other direction. Kiviranta, a good step up and a sweep by Chychrun. It is tied up along the boards right by the Stars bench. Keeps coming out and then getting kicked right back against the wall. It has not exited the zone though in a furious battle. Now the Stars, Glendening fell on it, and it's cleared to center. Dallas had to pull off. They were offside, so they touch up. It gives the Coyotes an opportunity to break out cleanly. Now they'll chip and change, and it's Esa Lindell. Pass by Heiskanen. Raffle had company in Chychrun. Netminder Wedgwood leaves it for Capobianco. Chychrun's pass to Ladd at center. Now it's Lawson Krause pulling past Gurianov. Puck on his stick. Sharp angle hit the outside of the net. Krause follows up. Over to Capobianco. Bouncing puck. Held in by Hayton. Now back to Krause, and a chance bounce just wide of the net. Capobianco one-timer gets blocked. Gurianov scoops it up and skates. He will chip in, and Dallas changes.
Coyotes play kind of a frenzied game. You know, they get going, it looks like they're going to have an opportunity. You can just sense the urgency in their overall attack, and then they back off a little bit. They certainly feel like they're in this game. Why wouldn't you? You're almost midway through and tied at 2. And they've had the better of the chances here in the middle frame.
They have 10 points on the season in 20 games, 4, 14, and 2. Just absolutely could not get going. Here's a chance. Stop. Rebound. Dzingel. And he couldn't get it through Holtby. Looked like there was time and plenty of space. Holtby holds there. It remains tied because of it. Travis Boyd has the equalizer. It's a 2-2 hockey game almost halfway through.
Dzingel chip one from the side of the net. Holtby using every bit of his lateral mobility to get across and stymie Dzingel. Tough day for the Ohio State product. His Buckeyes got crushed by Michigan.
Heiskanen, outlet feed. And Kiviranta will chip in from the center line. Now Capobianco. Galchenyuk didn't clear. Heiskanen a shot. Wedgwood saw it the entire way and hangs on.
Our Taco Bell take tonight, it took a while, but the Stars seem to have found some consistency to their play. Over the last 9 games, they've scored at least 1 goal in all but 5 of the 28 periods of play. And they stuck 2 in the opening frame here again tonight for the 3rd straight game. They're not giving up much as well.
Heiskanen to Lindell, one-timer, and that stung Keller, who will hobble his way back to the bench. Play goes on, and he's having trouble just making it up that small step onto the bench. Lindell off the glass to center ice. Boyd, and now Krause. Holtby went down. He went to go play the puck, and it looked like he stumbled on an expected rim, and there was a wide open net for a moment. Now it's out of play.
He caught an edge, and anticipating that the puck was going to get rimmed around, he was at least 10 feet outside of his net. The wraparound went right to Krause, corralled it, and then he whipped it well wide to the far side. Yikes.
So the Stars dodge that. Face-off will stay in the Dallas zone. Unfortunately for the Coyotes, at least for the interim, they are not able to dodge the short-term loss, maybe longer, of one of their best weapons. Keller, during that last stoppage, hobbled his way back into the locker room, so they're down a key forward. Sharp angle bid. Robertson, puck is loose. Wedgwood, from the seat of his pants, is able to hang on and get the whistle.
Well, Robertson and the Stars played last night at home. The Coyotes have not played since Wednesday, pre-Turkey, against the Edmonton Oilers, and they look like the fresher, more energetic club here in the second period. You can see some of the fatigue maybe setting in.
Dallas wins the draw again. It's now 19-8 in that department, favoring the Stars. Eriksson to Dzingel, angled it out to center ice. Hakanpää shoots back in. The Stars go after it. Now Wedgwood falls down. He scurries back between the pipes. It's been an adventure for both goaltenders. Here's Sekera, backdoor. Robertson scores. Set up Sekera to Robertson like an alley-oop, and a slam dunk goal returns the lead for Dallas for the 3rd time in the game.
Well, Wedgwood goes out in behind his own net and then got into scramble mode after he had fallen down. And I'm going to say missed assignment for the Coyotes as far as their defensive posture was concerned. Nobody had Robertson. Bang. Nice eyes on Andre Sekera. Back in the lineup here tonight. 2 goals for that line. Pavelski was the hero last night with 2 goals early at home, and the beat goes on for Hintz, Pavelski, and Robertson.
Quick whistle, puck out of play. Robertson picking up his 5th goal, 2nd point of the game, so he's now got 13 points in 13 games this season.
Well, a big challenge for him in his 2nd year on the circuit is to up his production away from home. It was a little light last year, or last season, it was earlier this year. At home, dynamite. And he looks like he's trending in that direction. It's a small sample size. The Stars haven't been on the road all that much, and he missed the opening couple of weeks of the season with that shoulder issue.
The assist, Sekera and Pavelski, so he's got another 2-point game. Last night, those 2 goals 19 seconds apart. It was the first multi-point game of the season for Pavelski, who had 10 of them in 56 games last year. Now he's done it in back-to-back evenings. Chipped by O'Brien. He was not quite at the red line. Fashing, and the crowd here thinks he won the race, but it's whistled down.
Been exciting on the icings here. It's a race to the hash marks on the often puzzling call within games, and the linesmen have to hustle back there to figure out who's ahead. Instead, it's an attack zone face-off, and the Yotes couldn't change.
Coyotes do win this face-off. They can't clear it, though. Stars steal it right back. Robertson. You were talking about the spread-out consistency of the scoring. Now 24 times in the last 29 periods after that Robertson tally.
It's solid math.
I had to use my fingers. Here is Hintz, and he's denied on the chance by Wedgwood.
Man, he is really flying again. That blazing speed is constantly being displayed. Did it a couple of times last night on home ice, and this is a pretty fancy boy stop by Wedgwood, who followed onto the backhand, got the glove out, stole a little ice away from the backhand bid from Hintz.
Shots in the game, 19-12, favoring the Stars. Here is Hakanpää back in front of his netminder, and then it's Karam free. Keller back out on the ice after blocking the shot and leaving. Good sight to see him back out there. Hakanpää off the high corner glass, bounces its way. Lyubushkin spinning from the point, funneled it low for Boyd. He goes down, and our first penalty of the game is going to get whistled just on the other side of the midway point of it. Tripping against Andre Sekera. He heads off, but the Stars head back in front. Sekera setting up Robertson. 3-2 Dallas, halfway through from Glendale.
Go ahead, goal sits in sin. First infraction of the game, 30 minutes in. Keller and Gostisbehere have been the leaders on the Coyote power play this season. Gostisbehere's 5 power play assists would actually be leading the Stars in that category as well, which is pretty stunning.
Tripping the call against Sekera. Coyotes power play goes to work. Here's a chance. Chychrun, and a save made by Holtby. Keller keeps it in his zone. Here's Gostisbehere. Back for Chychrun, goes low. And a sweep by Lindell. Forced it back to the corner. Keller there. Clogged up along the boards. Inside Dallas territory, it's fought for and worked up high to Chychrun. He had 5 power play goals last year, part of his 18. And a shot near side, Gostisbehere hung on to by Holtby.
Stars would love to give that shot up throughout this power play, even with bodies in front of the net. No problem whatsoever for Braden Holtby. You know, you look at the Stars penalty killing. Since that disastrous Western Canadian road trip, they allowed 6 power play goals on 15 shorthanded situations during that run. They've been outstanding. Just 3 power play goals in 7 games.
They win this faceoff. Look to clear. Suter will out to center.
Part of that's been the goaltending, which has been fantastic, and part of it is just the parts that fit together better, a little more continuity with the 4 penalty killers on the ice.
Coyotes dump it back in. Chikrin, the defenseman, is all the way in deep. It's worked on by Heiskanen. And now a penalty against Arizona. Is getting tripped up in the corner was Michael Raffl. And heading off is Barrett Hayton.
Arizona penalty number 29. 2 minutes, tripping.
Hayton was their net front guy early on this power play. He comes in and it's the sly slew foot into the skates of Raffl and ends the first power play opportunity of the game. We'll get some 4-on-4. Michael Raffl had that wonderful opportunity to snipe one earlier in the period, ripped it high and wide. Ben and company talking over what they'd like to do after Jamie wins this face-off. He's the Stars' best man.
So tripping against Hayton will make it another successful penalty killed for Dallas. They do win the draw and put it right on net where it's scooped up by Wedgwood.
Yes, it was a little quick with the trigger that time with absolutely nobody in the general vicinity of the front of the net. So whatever they talked about and had planned broke down. Heiskanen replaces Klingberg, and we'll see if Ben can win another one.
Against Boyd, he will. Heiskanen this time pauses a bit. Stutter step on Boyd. Tries to track it to the corner. Boyd stepped underneath. Takes possession, feeds Krause. He'll charge up ice. Chip it in. Krause gets to it first. Heiskanen pins it up along the wall and pops free to Ben. Stars captain. 4-on-4 has another 27 seconds on it. Ben will step off for a change as Lindell slowly from his own end. Long stretch pass, bounces. He's going wide of the net. Wedgwood had to glove it and hang on. Fans, you can give the gift of hockey this holiday season with the Dallas Stars Holiday Hat Trick. Choose from 3 great plans and gift 2 tickets to 3 Stars home games, plus a special edition Stars winter hat. It all starts at just $99. You can shop now at DallasStars.com.
We'll see whether they can do something better from the other face-off circle, 4-on-4.
Pavelski tasked with the face-off, and Dallas does control. Suter had pressure up near the point from Dzingel. It's worked over to Hintz, back up top for Suter. Sekera is going to come out of the box in 5 seconds to begin the first power play of the night for Dallas. Klingberg for Hintz. Here's Sekera. And Hintz will have to track it down between the blue lines. Sekera heads off, and the Stars get the power play unit out there. Hintz leaves it. Cutting to the net, Radulov. Now Robertson is shot up high. He had a lot on it, just misfired, and the rebound comes all the way back. Klingberg back for Radulov. Avoids traffic, cuts into the attack zone. Just over a half minute remaining on the power play. Stars leading by a goal, second period. Here's Robertson. Up high for Klingberg. Back for Robertson, top of the right circle. Pass low, Radulov. Angled it for Klingberg. He walks in, shoots, and it's blocked to the corner. Robertson reloads for Klingberg. His shot stopped this time by Wedgwood. No second effort, and 8 seconds remain on the Hayton call.
That looked dangerous, that set from the Stars on this power play unit, and Radulov and Robertson combined. Robertson just slight delay and then ripped it. All Wedgwood, the netminder, could do was wedge himself on the short side post. And it was sizzled off the end glass. They've hit that glass a couple of times here in the second period.
They win a draw. One more look on this power play. Gurianov partially fanned on his one-timer. Now Ben surveying his options. Out of the box comes Hayton.
Nobody was moving. 3 guys up top. Nobody gave Ben an option from behind the net.
So both teams fail to convert on shortened power play opportunities. They're both 0 for 1. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Dallas gets 1 shot on their power play. Ben out there with Seguin and Gurianov. feeds Sagan. A chip down low for Gurianov. Up high, Suter at the line. Across to Heiskanen. His shot hit traffic in the slot, taken by Arizona. Keller the other way. Feeds it for Hayden. Recently released from the penalty box. Then Keller swatted at it. Off target. And cleared by a poke check from the Stars, Raffl. Gostisbehere. Out for Galchenyuk. Raffl, another good stick. He has been very impressive. Back off of Fox up. Racing after it is Fasching. He'll turn away from Glendening. Galchenyuk supports. His wrister from the wall is hung on to by Holtby. 5:12 left in the second period. The Stars have had 3 different one-goal leads, including the 3-2 score right now.
The Yotes 3-2, 5 and change to go in the second period. Haven't had a chance to talk about Andre Cherney, the head coach of these Coyotes. He's had him play a pretty peppy game in November, the month of November.
Shot gets blocked in second effort, saved by Holtby on O'Brien, but a penalty upcoming. A hooking call is going to go back against the Stars.
He lightly penalized Miro Heiskanen.
2 minutes, hooking.
So Mr. Cherney's power play unit gets back out here now. They're 2 for 20 at home this season. Hard to believe the Islanders are the only team with a worse home power play percentage. Of course, they started the season primarily on the road, and they've had their games delayed now because of COVID, as the Ottawa Senators had.
Yeah. Scary situation over there, and a tough one as they were playing with a lot of guys in COVID protocol. So back on the power play go the Coyotes. It is rimmed in. Chychrun softly off the wall. Electing to keep it moving was Holtby with the stick. Lindell banks it all the way down, and half a minute, I should say, into this power play. 14th overall, or 14% on the season overall, home and road combined. It is the 26th ranked power play unit for the Coyotes. Keller to Chychrun. Shot save made by Holtby.
Chychrun likes to shoot. Leads them by a healthy margin in that category. A sweet little setup by Keller, who's their most creative forward.
Gostisbehere with it now. He will drop it off. And here comes Kessel through center. His pass for Keller. Drags it with him down the left wing. Banks it up top for Gostisbehere. His shot saved by Holtby. And it comes out to center, and Raffl chasing after it, shorthanded. He'll turn in. Raffl, backhand is turned aside, and following up, Fox couldn't sweep it. The other way comes Krause. How many shorthanded chances is Michael Raffl going to get? Boyd. It's in his skates. 3 Coyotes there against 2 Stars. It pops past Capobianco, and just 7 seconds left on Heiskanen's penalty. Fox trying to take it away. He will. He'll just dump it in, and that'll do it. Heiskanen comes free. 0 for 2 are the Coyotes. They get 3 shots. Short-handed Raffl, who has 2 short-handed assists, also comes up with a glorious scoring chance for the Stars. Giveaway Dallas in front. Ladd couldn't stay with it. Second effort. And with Holtby scrambling, a sharp angle chance missed wide. Holtby didn't have his stick. He didn't need it. And he gets the glove, and he hangs on.
A necessary turnover by the Stars after that penalty kill. Michael Raffl could be leading the Stars in goals if he could finish off his B-ways, because he's had a lot of them. And then the burp up. Ladd can't get it twisted around Holtby. Tried for the empty net, and then the better bid was right after that. Andrew Ladd and company counter-punching here in the second period. The Coyotes have been outscored now 52-17 in the first 40 minutes of games. They've rallied a little bit in third periods, but man, that is a tough way to live.
Stars will clear it from their end all the way down on Wedgwood, who's forced into a cover, and Dallas has dominated the face-off circle. They'll try and do something off of this.
Well, you knew that was going to happen, that, you know, they missed Jay Beagle, right? It would be their guy they'd trot over the boards to win the majority of the face-offs in their own zone especially. And I think young Hayton is their best percentage guy, and he's the only guy over 47%. 47%. Stars are one of the best face-off teams in the league.
Sagan wins it cleanly, shot by Lindell. He goes to the corner, Labushkin over to Ladd. Ladd did not play in the NHL last year, just one American Hockey League game. He's in his 17th season. Out to Zingle. Going down was Labushkin. It's funneled low for Ladd. So hand off in the corner, Chychrun. Pulling free from Sagan. Another overlap from Ladd. Great stick, Heiskanen, and he can race the other way. 3-on-2 Dallas. Heiskanen's pass was not on the same page with Sagan.
But Tyler was going to keep going, and Sagan had spun off to change.
Kiviranta steals at neutral ice, brings it across the line. Radulov a shot, snapped it off the glass, and deflected up and out of play.
The Coyote defense are starting to turn pucks over a little bit. It started on that power play. Gostisbehere burped it up. That led to the breakaway for Raffl. They turned another one over right after that. Chychrun turned one over. Feed the Stars counterattack if you continually do that. I'm sure Phil Housley in behind their bench, who runs their decor, was a fabulous defenseman in his career. We'll be reminding them, puck security, boy, especially late in the period.
Dyson Mayo, his pass intended for Kessel. Now Radulov, pocket pick from Keller. He'll bring it back in for Arizona. Plays it behind the net. Klingberg keeps it wide around for Radulov. Got bumped down by Gostisbehere. 70 seconds left in the second period. Boyd is in. Suter gives him a shove, then a second one. Fox able to steal it and chip. Kessel for Mayo. With Dallas changing, it's played the length of the ice. This is icing against Arizona.
Well, this feels like one of those games where just watching the body language on the Stars, where they're ahead. They've been ahead since the opening minute of the game. They've never trailed. But it's a battle here tonight. You know, there's fatigue in their game a little bit, playing back-to-back. Pretty spry opponent on a Saturday night at home. They're in one.
Here's Robertson up high. Shot. Changed directions on a tip. Looks like it was a tip with a high stick. Touched by Arizona. Play goes on. Robertson collides with the Zingle. Comes away with it. Net drive. Fed across Hintz. Now settled by Heiskanen. He couldn't get it off his stick. There's a jumpy puck right there. 25 seconds left in the period. Calm down.
A couple of curious plays from Miro Heiskanen. Maybe some fatigue in his game.
Capobianco, deflection, so no icing. Loose in the trapezoid, grabbed by Heiskanen. He'll bank it to center ice. Not a lot of time left. Capobianco looks at the clock. He'll just allow it to expire. And so the teams trade goals in the second. Dallas remains up by 1 with 1 to play.
You know, it's only 1 goal, but the numbers bear out that when you can lead at intermissions, your chances of winning the contest at the end go way up. So a large tally from Robertson, a couple of good stops from Braden Holtby, and a 1-goal lead heading to the third.
Boyd leveled things early in the second period with his 5th of the year. It was answered 4.5 minutes later by Robertson with his 5th of the year. It's 3-2 Dallas over Arizona. 40 minutes in the books, and your intermission report is coming up next.
And again, the line of Robertson, Hintz, and Pavelski are having a night. They've combined for 36 points and 17 goals in the 13 games they've played together. Yeah, they're the #1 unit.
After the year they had last year, the hope was that a full season starting together, and they would pick up where they left off. The Robertson injury from the start of the season derailed those plans, but man, have they clicked now. And it has helped lead the Stars to 5 wins in their last 6 games. They're trying to extend that number. 20 minutes to go here in the desert. We're underway in the 3rd period. It is Dzingel getting a pass through. Mayo hits the red line and chips in. Holtby thought about drifting back to play. Too much pressure in the form of Louis Eriksson. And Gurianov and Dzingel cancel one another out. A pass through the legs. Raffl was going for Ben. He had to let it go. It looked like a center snapping the ball. The nifty way to get it out of the zone, and Arizona touches next, so play goes on. Lyubushkin ran into his own man. Now picked off Klingberg. Across for Hintz to Pavelski. He cuts in, tried to feed it across, and Stars could not find the puck as Wedgwood was trying to go laterally. Dallas steals. Pavelski to Robertson. Hintz was in front. It's gloved down off a deflection. Kessel and out to center.
That all started with a terrific read by John Klingberg to jump. They were trying to stretch. They had forwards way away from their defensemen, and from that, this top line pounced once again.
Andrew Ladd will pick it up. Pass it up ahead for Chychrun. He'll follow it. Goes down hard right through the trapezoid. Suter tumbled as well. It's grabbed by the Coyotes, and then a heavy check. Suter planting there at Hayton. It's Chychrun looking for a shooting lane. Got one through, and it carried him just wide. Holtby scrambling. He doesn't have his stick. Suter picks it up, trying to hand it to his netminder. Just drops it in the crease, and the Stars will clear.
Here, you go get it. Fetch. He's lost that a couple of times in the game.
A bit of a chaotic sequence. Yanni Hakanpää rims it around the defensive perimeter and then back across for Sekera. He's set up what right now is the difference-making goal. Kiviranta and Capobianco. Tyler Seguin joins in the corner. Puck squirts away, and it's taken by Galchenyuk. He gets shouldered hard by Kiviranta. Mayo tosses in. Another check, this time Liam O'Brien on the big Hakanpää.
They've come together a few times in the game. There's one thing that the Coyotes lead the league in, and that's fighting majors. They have 11, and he's their lead dog in that regard. No scraps in this one here tonight, but both sides have come out with a little bit of energy here to begin the 3rd period. I thought as that 2nd period moved along, the Stars' top D-men looked a tad worn down. Put a lot into those games against Edmonton and Colorado on home ice. And bowed back up here to begin the 3rd, though.
Mayo over to Gostisbehere, tries to step past Kiviranta, does, and then a shot. Eriksson and Holtby tracked it well and ate it up.
Tyler Seguin's looking at his stick after losing that draw to the right of Holtby. Mayo stuck his leg in there like Tyler likes to do, and from that changed the point of attack quickly. Good quick read by Holtby to get across. No rebound, which is the hallmark of his game.
He looks to his left for this face-off. Ben and Dzingel. Dzingel's going to get the boot.
Roussel's moving people around, yes.
Antoine
with authority
against Jamie Benn, and Ben wins it. Heiskanen stretches. Gurianov. He blew a tire as he cut halfway down. Intercepted Heiskanen. This time a short pass for Raffl, who's in. Off his stick, makes it to Gurianov. Shouldered off by Roussel. And then off of Eriksson's heels. Roussel pickpocketed by Gurianov. He'll chip to the corner. Gostisbehere gets there. Raffl and Ben nearby. Gurianov for Heiskanen. Settled down by Gostisbehere, and he'll seek shelter behind his net. Dallas making a wholesale change. Over 3.5 minutes gone by here in the third period. Stars have a 3-2 lead over the Arizona Coyotes. First of 4 meetings this year, Arizona came to the Central Division with the Seattle Kraken joining the NHL and taking their spot in the Pacific. Fans, you can make DallasStars.com your only place for Stars news, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and game highlights. Plus, DallasStars.com is your one-stop shop to purchase verified tickets and cheer on your favorite team all season long. Get in the game and visit DallasStars.com today. Klingberg to Robertson, back for Klingberg, and a shot blocked off the stick, then the glass behind the net. Down for Keller. He's got Kessel striding his way in, and a shot snapped it, hopefully with the blocker save.
It's vintage Phil Kessel there, that squatty, quick stride down the right wing, leans on the stick, uses the whip, rips it on net.
Ryan Suter. Now kicked by Chychrun, artfully. And Galchenyuk. Lyubushkin through center and dumped to the corner. Hakanpää restarts for Peterson. Off of his stick, and then Radulov hustles to get there. Radulov, nice move around a man, and he could not. Falling down, bump it over to a cutting Peterson.
Who had beaten Chychrun, it looked like, to some open ice.
O'Brien, another collision with Hakanpää. Peterson to Sekera. He'll hit the red line, feather one to the corner. Radulov had to start on Capobianco. Now Radulov comes away with possession. Beats Heiskanen. Nice move, high slot. Stays with it, left circle. Back in front. Save Wedgwood. It's fought for and covered by the Coyotes netminder.
It's been interesting at times. Miro Heiskanen has played on the left side, and at times his partner Esa Lindell has played on the left side here tonight. Earlier, Radulov trying to sashay his way in there and set up young Peterson. Good net presence by both Kiviranta and Faksa after the wrister from Heiskanen. There have been some second opportunities in and around the goal mouth in front of Wedgwood tonight.
Here's Gostisbehere. Pass ahead for Hayden. Dallas steals. Heiskanen down the left wing. Centering pass broken up by Mayo. Back out to center, and good angle taken by Glendening. Seguin bounces off of Hayden, but it's Gostisbehere for Arizona. Right through the Coyotes retro logo. It's their primary one once again at center ice. Now Lindell pokes it off of Ben, rolls into the Yotes end. Just a territorial start to this third period. 6 minutes gone by. Dallas with a 1-goal lead. Chychrun around Raffl. He's in. Shot ramped off a stick, high out of play. With 13:52 left in the third. Stars 3, Coyotes 2. Coming down to the wire at Gila River Arena.
Kessel's been noticeable. Has an assist in the game. Ripped that puck a couple of times. He has one of the longest consecutive games played runs in NHL history. This is his 921st in a row. Third longest all time.
Face-off is controlled by the Coyotes and then pinned up along the wall. Boyd from Seguin. Keller bumps it right back to the corner, and Lindell just ushers it to free space. Heiskanen first on the scene. Coyotes touch up, and Boyd falls across the line. Now Keller, stolen and cleared by Dallas. A race for it in the corner. Heiskanen's going to win that most times. He'll get there, but turned over to Kessel. Good support from Ben. Keller to Chychrun. Hustles to keep in. Bounces to Lyubushkin, and a good diving play by Raffl to clear.
Good defensive work by Jamie Benn twice in a row. Now he's going to have to continue on here.
His line mates got off for a change. The quick re-entrance kept Ben at center down low. And now it's Roberts in for Heiskanen. Ben's got a little bit of time and space. He can chip to center ice, make his way to the bench. Stretch pass misses Eriksson, becomes icing against the Coyotes.
Coyotes have been successful in tight games, one-goal games in the month of November. They're 4-1-1 in one-goal games. They're on the wrong side of a one-goal game here right now with under 13 minutes to go in regulation. They've struggled otherwise. And it's the Stars, it just feels like they've gone about their business in this third period. Tight defensively, don't give up an awful lot. And when the Coyotes crack, make the most of it.
Here darting in is Roussel. He'll hit the brakes, fall down at the outer hash marks, and Dallas can clear it. It's pretty remarkable. You look at the Coyotes start to this season 0-10-1, and you think, man, that never happens. It's the second time in the last 5 years a Coyotes team has started a season 0-10-1. They did it back in 17-18.
They call that getting yourself behind the 8 ball, to coin a phrase, and then battle uphill the rest of the way. You were talking about Sabres, Oilers, Senators on that list of clubs that have struggled out of training camp.
Here's Galchenyuk, a shot, save made by Holtby. And collision knocks Foxa down. O'Brien has continued that part of the game. Bashing from the edge of the trapezoid, couldn't get around Hakanpää. Galchenyuk cut him off. Liam O'Brien down on the knee, one-hands it, gets it back. Nice move, and couldn't curl the puck on net. Fourth line for Arizona doing work here, and the Stars, Radulov wants to get it out of the zone. He will.
One of the few hard physical forechecking shifts from a Coyote forward line here in the game tonight, and they came close.
Capo Bianco. Defenseman had overtime winner against LA, the last Coyotes victory. He's been a productive player since being recalled from the American Hockey League. Wrapped around to the near side, Mayo. For Boyd, behind the net. Little fumble of it initially, and now Suter helps clog it against the baseboards. Really the first time in the night, crowd started to make some noise here, trying to urge on the home side. Just over half a period. Remains in regulation. Dallas has a 1-goal lead. Keller fell on the puck. In the seat of his pants, he'll choke up on the stick and keep it moving around to Mayo. Up top to Boyd. The forward double clutches at the point, and then gloved by Seguin. Could not bump it to the inside on Mayo.
It was good one-on-one work by Tyler Seguin against Clayton Keller down low in the zone. The Stars center icemen have been very attentive to help out the decor here in the third period in that area of the ice.
Holtby drifts behind the net to play it. Hayton reversed near side Lyubushkin. Through a shoulder from Raffl. Up top to Ladd. It was a bouncing puck. He could not hold it in, so the Coyotes have to touch back up. Chychrun to Kraus. Kraus enters down the right side. Push it behind the net. A centering feed. Kraus, a shot save made by Holtby. Hayton, the shot got blocked. Kraus keeps it in, and then Gurianov takes it away and clears.
What a chance for Lawson Kraus. Just peeled away from Lindell, and then Heiskanen blocked the second opportunity. Stars are basically D-zone coverage and then changing once they get it out of the zone. That's a bad recipe in third periods.
Dallas steals. Robertson back for Sekera. Along the blue line, Hakanpää. Then off of Hintz. He'll poke, race after it. Canceled in the corner. Along the wall, Dzingel will flip it to safety. Chychrun hits the red line, put it on net. Maybe trying to catch Holtby.
Yeah.
Fake like he was going around. Somewhere back in Dallas, Brett Severin is smiling at that attempt. 3-2, Stars have the lead.
Handiwork of Braden Holtby back in the Stars pipes for the first time in over 2 weeks. He's been busy at times too. He's looked good. You know, his lateral mobility has been rock solid. His rebound control, excellent. Kind of a funky one against him in the second period. Ugly situation. The other one was reviewed of the high stick and a lot of traffic in the net. Roussell's goal back in the first, otherwise perfect.
Radulov hustling after it. It's poked by Capobianco. Then Boyd reverses it. Flipped on the backhand. Strawman and then angled back. Capobianco to Keller. Down into the corner. Boyd getting there. Just at the same time was Esselindell. Seen a lot of this clogged up as the team's just fighting for possession. The stage of the game and the context of the game where one wall battle could make the difference. Capobianco to Keller, back to Capobianco, a shot wristed wide. Heiskanen, nice job to get to it first and just swat it away from danger. Cycle for the Coyotes. Keller switch of directions on Heiskanen and banked it, intended for Kessel. Faksa took it away. Radulov clears. He got more on it than he wanted to, and it'll result in icing against Dallas. They've been out there a while and cannot change.
No, you can see the fatigue in Alexander Radulov. They have to remain out there. The Coyotes have gone about their business very simplistically here in the third period. Put the puck in behind the Stars' defense, make them turn and grind a little bit, and it's worked. They're spending a ton of time in the offensive zone because of it.
Five-star skaters have all been out there a minute, and they win a key face-off, and Lindell can clear it, and the majority of guys in white can get a change. Heiskanen stepped up to apply pressure on Ladd, then he gloves it down at the blue line. It's Chychrun to Gostisbehere. Inside the final 8 minutes of regulation. Stars leading by a goal. Coyotes on the attack. Kraus for Hayton. Kraus trying to walk it out. Stick by Holtby was down, never allowed it. Kiviranta can clear.
And finally, Miro Heiskanen was the last guy to change. He gets off.
1 minute, 50 seconds. That shift was clocked out. Hudson Fasching. He gets hit by Suter. Raffle protects away from Galchenyuk. Klingberg can clear. This puck is going to slow down on the chewed up ice. Icing is waved off. Galchenyuk turned it over to Raffle. Offensive zone time for the Stars. Chychrun. Dashing. O'Brien didn't play. Now it's Gurianov racing after a right side. He'll bump it over to Klingberg. Rimmed around. Fasching once more on the defensive wall. Is pressured by Suter. Hudson Fasching turned over. Robertson. Good work by the Stars. Klingberg at the point. Back for Robertson in front. Redirection. Gurianov. Hintz follows it up. Now it's the Stars on the attack. Shot by Klingberg. Saved Wedgwood. And the long stretch pass read and played perfectly by Suter. Hintz is back in. Leaves it in the dot for Robertson. Pavelski has come off the bench to join them. Joe Pavelski in the corner. Works it up top. Left point Lindell. Now down for Robertson. From the face-off dot. Goes through the slot. Eluded Hintz, and Boyd can clear.
Well, Rick Bowness was able to slide the Hintz line out there against the fourth line for the Coyotes, and they came close to making it a little less dramatic here in the waning stages of the hockey game.
It's Kessel. Knocked out of midair by Heiskanen. Second game of a back-to-back. The travel, we talked about the 2-minute shift. He's right back out there. Next time the number gets called, doing what you'd expect. Louis Eriksson. And now Strawman. Touches red. Shoots it in. Radek Faksa over to Hakanpää. Jumping the route was Keller. Pass just got away from him. Then rides up off the netting, out of play. With 5:17 left in the third. Stars trying to hang on. They've got a 3-2 lead over the Arizona Coyotes.
Amassing more points in their ascent in the Western Conference. leading the Coyotes 3-2 here late. Our Ford leaderboard tonight. Nice to have the Yotes back in the same division. Best records versus a single opponent over the last 5 years, and the Stars' 10-1 record against Arizona, the third best. They have dominated this rivalry.
They're looking to land the first bunch of this 4-game season series. Keller with a shot, gloved by Holtby. He'll hang on to it as we inch our way towards the final 5 of the contest.
This is like a rare face-off loss for the Stars in their own zone. For the most part, they've been able to control, and Jamie was out there to try to secure that pill. They've started with the puck an awful lot tonight. Seguin will try on the other dot.
Coyotes got a chance to control this one. Good pressure by Lindell on Keller, and it forces the puck all the way back. Chychrun. Seguin knocked it out of midair. It's poked towards the blue line. Kept by Raffl. Glendening behind the net. He gets hit. Stays with it. Boyd. Pocket picked by Raffl. Michael Raffl eating it along the wall. He'll chip it in deep. Allow the Stars to get some fresh legs out there. As fresh as they can be anyway. Dallas got an impressive victory last night against the Colorado Avalanche. Jumped on a flight. Flew here to Arizona. Early start time here locally.
Early game last night.
Yep. Heiskanen in the corner. Now spun by Dzingel. Keller going down, trying to poke it to a point man in Capobianco. He holds it. Over to Stroman. Shot blocked by Pavelski. Around the wall, still in the Stars zone. Eriksson. And Lindell battling with Roussel. Comes loose for Stroman, and good work by Pavelski to clear.
Feels like they've played 16 minutes along the boards here in the third.
Roussel, his shot was forced wide by Klingberg. 3.5 to go in the third. Keeping an eye on Wedgwood back in the Arizona net as it's angled out by the Stars. Shots have just about leveled. 28-27 favoring the Stars. It's a 1-shot differential, a 1-goal differential. Suter to Ben. He's caught by Boyd. Ben gets it back. 3-on-3 across the line. Jamie Benn chips it to Faksa. It fell at his feet just behind where he could grab it. If he's right-handed, that one's probably in on Wedgwood from point-blank range. Kessel weaves in. Feeds it. Gostisbehere leaned into it. It hit his own man, Keller.
Had a tough night with the puck tonight, Clayton Keller. Been pumped twice.
Alexander Radulov fighting through traffic. Clock continues to roll. Puck in the Arizona end. Gostisbehere pursued. Feeds it to Chychrun. Raffl got there quickly. Hayton over to Gostisbehere. He'll flip it high into the Star zone, but it wasn't timed well. An offside whistled against the Coyotes.
Radek Fox had just about had that puck fall perfectly for him as he cruised toward the front of the Coyote net. They haven't really had much dangerous by way of offensive opportunities against the Coyotes here in the third. They spent a lot of time back in their own end, flushing the Coyotes to the outskirts.
Faceoff is back in the Arizona third because that's where the pass that pulled the Coyotes offside originated from. Stars win the faceoff. Heiskanen will just keep it wide. Rim to the near side boards. Pavelski, then Robertson fed the slot. Broken up, and Louis Eriksson the other way. Wedgwood is starting to inch out, but he's staying put, waiting for the summons from his bench. With the clock now under 2, and there he goes. It's tied up along the corner. Wedgwood is off. Extra attacker on for the Coyotes. 6-on-5. Capobianco shot. Went through the slot and back to the near side. Esa Lindell, his pass for Heiskanen. Takes a look and just chips it all the way down. And this puck just has enough to cross for icing.
Esa Lindell, such a great sweeper in and around the front of his net, did that. And his partner Heiskanen can be dainty with the puck even on his backhand. That time a little too much smoke on it all the way down. They have to remain out there. Key draw to the left of Braden Holtby with the Coyote net empty. There were a lot of guys piling on the ice right at the icing call, and that's what the confusion is. I mean, that was like the old days where they used to just throw a bunch of guys on the ice and then challenge the officials to sort it out.
Heiskanen and Lindell have each been out there over a minute. The Stars win the draw. They will clear it around and forced out by Faksa. Gostisbehere gets there in front of Pavelski. Net remains empty for the Coyotes. They'll chip it in. Holtby drifts behind the cage. He'll play it with pace around the wall. Faksa couldn't clear. Now it's in the circle. It's moved with a hand. It's a hand pass against Arizona. 1:09 left in the third. It'll bring the face-off out.
They are going to put their netminder back on the ice, it appears, with the face-off in neutral ice. And just over a minute remaining, maybe a timeout taken here to talk things over on how they'd like to execute the rest of the way. Tourney, I think both coaches are probably going to end, if the game ends up like it is right now at 3-2 in a Stars victory, I think both coaching staffs are going to be pretty happy with the contest and grind for bonus and company. You know, nothing's given to you in this league. No matter what, you have to earn it. And they've grinded their way to this 3-2 lead with 59 minutes of play expired. And from a Coyotes perspective, I mean, they're trying to compete but not win too much, if you know what I mean. They'd like to win at home for their fans in that, but their eye is on the bigger prize, which is rebuilding and getting a high draft pick. But they've competed hard here tonight. They've been the better team in the third period as far as territorial advantage is concerned, but haven't been able to squeeze anything past Holtby. The best chance they probably had was that quick snapper by Krause that was booted aside.
So the puck is dropped. The Stars control it. Wedgwood has to drift from the slot back between the pipes. He'll steer it along for Chychrun. He'll make his way back to the bench as soon as the Coyotes can move up ice with it.
I don't understand why you put him back in there, to be honest with you. Just put a player back there somewhere and go with it.
They haven't been able to cross the red line, so he remains there. It bounces in on him, and now he's forced to cover it and hang on with 41.9 seconds to go.
That's, 20 valuable seconds expired because of the decision. And we'll see, especially against a club you're struggling in the face-off circle against.
Tyler Seguin to take this one against Dzingel. Dallas doesn't need to funnel anything towards the net. They just want to keep the puck on this end of the ice. 5-on-5. And Seguin wins it as cleanly as you can. Back to Heiskanen. He will toss it wide. Allow Glendening to try and do some work in the corner. Seguin as well. Eventually, Gostisbehere comes away, banks it to Keller. There goes Wedgwood. 25 seconds left in the third as it's chipped in. Esa Lindell will clear it. Tremendous touch, not enough for icing. And it's going to give Gostisbehere and the Coyotes maybe one last dash at this. Lawson Krause. He'll bank it in deep. Lindell rides his man off. Heiskanen eats it along the wall. 5 seconds left. Puck is free. It's Keller. He'll feed it. Kessel shot blocked. And that's how the game ends, on a blocked shot. And the Stars hang on, earn a 3-2 win over the Coyotes, and have won 4 straight games and 6 of their last 7.
And apparently their defensive prowess and defensive game has followed them on the road here as they get a kick save and a beauty from probably the most dangerous Coyote on the ice. A rolling puck, chewed up ice, tough to control, courageous work in front of Braden Holtby, who wins in his return here tonight. And look, it wasn't an oil painting, but that's how you go about your business, especially on the road. You don't give up much, you score enough, and you grind your way to victory.
Stars began in the first minute. Rope Hintz got the scoring started. It would be back and forth the rest of the way, but another win where Dallas never trails. 3-2, the winning streak is 4. Stick around, the post-game show breaks it all down, and it comes your way next.